Hey, it's Erica the Design Diva. My purpose is to make you pop on paper and shine online. Welcome to WordPress Success Web- Website Creation Course Lesson number 2. So glad that you have returned and you're continuing your WordPress success journey. First, y'all know I like to start a little bit with some inspiration as a business or something, give you a little something just to get you going, to keep that morale up, that spirit high. Remember that there are no limits to what you can accomplish except the limits that you place on your own thinking. Your victory is won in your mind. So, do you still believe that you can create your own website? Guess what? I believe that you can. So let's get it on and popping so we can get you a little bit further on that journey. Now, before we start, how was lesson 1? Give me some feedback. Go ahead and shoot me an email. You can message me on Facebook or Instagram, whatever you like. I'm pretty connected, so even if I don't get to it right away, I will hit you back. I will get that information. And I also want to ask you, make sure that you completed assignment number 1. All right, you've done that, right? Yeah, okay. And that plan your brand for your brand activity, which is going to make the rest of this process easy as pie, especially the stuff that we are doing today. Wait till you see assignment number 2. That plan your brand activity is going to come in handy. Make sure that if you did the coming soon page, share it with me. Let me take a look at it. I would definitely love to see the progress that you are making. And remember that if you have any questions, you can always ask me anytime and give me feedback via email. Now, today's lesson, we're going to be talking about content holders, which are pages and posts. And then we're going to be talking about content, which is comprised in your media library. We're going to be talking about a feature in WordPress called Customize. And then we're going to go over what a one-page website is. Now, we've already done a couple of things about WordPress. We talked about the foundation and we talked about themes. Now, the foundation, that's just making sure that the application is installed by your with your hosting provider. That's where you do that. And then you went into your back end and you chose a theme. You did some layout, some colors. Okay, so we've done those things right there, and you should also have your coming soon page up by now. So we did those things. So today it's time to make it happen. We're actually going to add some content to our website. This is what lesson 2 is. Yes, we are getting to adding content already. Lesson 2, and we still have 4 lessons left. Don't worry, we're not going to run out. I'm not going to run out of things to show you. Definitely won't. So the content is just remember that's the pages and all the stuff that are on the pages. So all the stuff that are on, I don't think that's correct. All the stuff that is on the pages. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So the content is what we're going to be covering today, in this lesson. Now, first I want to give you just a little note about your web home, just to get you back in that mindset of that your website is your home on the internet. Now, WordPress is what we call a scalable website building platform. This means that it can grow as your brand grows. When something is scalable, that means you can start with something just what you need. You can start with 10 clients, and then if in a month you have 100 clients, guess what? Your business can still grow with it. And WordPress is the same way. Your WordPress can grow. Whatever you need to add, you can add it when you need to add it. So as your needs grow, you can expand your WordPress website. So that's something that you do not really have to worry about. So when you start out this initial website right now, it can be a small beginning. Just think, when you got your first place, you didn't have a mansion or anything. You just had, just a small place. But a website is never truly finished. So to get to that place where it's your dream website home, just think about it. I haven't gotten to my dream home yet, but I'm working towards it. And guess what? Even when you get to your dream home, there's going to be some things that you still need to do. Like, you're not going to stay in that home once you get it, you're not going to stay in that home for 20 years and never do anything to it. So the website is just the same. Once you get it to a place where you like it, yes, you can present it to the world. Yes, you can publish it and say, hey, look, check out my new website. Check out my updated website. However, in a year, definitely in a year or two, you're going to be looking to make some changes to it. So we're going to talk about pages. Pages are like the rooms of your web home. Okay, so just like in your house, we may have, if it's a studio, you may have one room. If not, you can have a whole bunch of rooms. Like you might have like 10 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, whatever. But just on your website, you can have one page or many pages. When you look at your home, you make sure things are presentable and neat and organized, right? Those are some things that you also want to do with the pages on your website. You never want it to just look like it's thrown together. Please. If you looked at the design tips, the extra free lesson that I provided, if you look at design tips, you'll know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this presentable, neat, and organized, right? So please, please, please make sure that it looks good. You would not invite someone into your home, right, where you live, and it's not in order. Your web pages need to be in order as well. The last thing I have here is that it's functional. When you go into someone's bathroom at their house, right, you don't walk in there and expect to see a blender, right? If you do, that's a whole different, yeah, that's not covered in WordPress success, all right? So you don't go into their kitchen and expected to see a toilet, right? Because it just doesn't make sense. That doesn't work well. It's like, wait a minute, why is this here? So with your web pages, you also want to make sure that you keep things together that make sense together. As far, let's just say, if I want to look for a phone number to call you, or contact your business by email, that information should be on the contact page. Of course, there's some overlap as to where you can put some things, because you can put contact information like in your header, so it's always there, and readily available for people. However, some things you just have to say, okay, these functions go together, these do as well. And that's how you would organize those, make sure those pages are really organized. The other thing about it is when you have a house, right? You can build on to, or even if you stay in an apartment, you can build on and things can be under construction, right? Well, that's the ones that you utilize, right? Those rooms you don't use. So as well on your web page, we already talked about things being under construction. That's not what you show to people. You don't have to say, hey, I'm adding a new page and it's under construction. You just build it in the background, and then once it's launched, then you can make it public and have it published. And I know I'm talking about being published, having it published. When I do the demo for today's lesson, I will show you what I mean. You'll see what I mean. So again, I said when you start out first, you're going to start out with a studio, or maybe just like a little tiny apartment, 1 bedroom or something, just the basic functions. That's all you need. You're good when you start out and you're happy about it, right? I remember when I had my first apartment. It was a 1 bedroom, and it looked like a place that probably used to be like an old hotel, like back in the 70s or something. I don't know. And they converted it into like apartments. So, and it was so nice and cute. But I just thinking back, I haven't been back to see those apartments. However, now I would probably be like, ooh, I lived here, really? But guess what? It was nice, neat, organized. It was clean. And, I had stuff the way that I liked it, and it was presentable. As a matter of fact, when my family came to visit me, they said, you do not always have it this clean. But guess what? That's the same thing you can do with your first website. Even if you have one page or a few pages and you have limited content, you can still make it presentable, right? You can still make it professional. You can even have something like a 1-page website. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit as well, having a 1-page website. So don't worry about the fact that you're starting out small. Make it professional, make it presentable. That's all you have to do. And I have to say this, make sure that it's functional, because in WordPress Success, we're building websites that are professional, that work for you, that work for your brand, right? So make sure you put some calls to action in there. Now, as you progress and I told you I started out with that 1 bedroom apartment, Well, my next apartment was a little bit nicer. And then the next one, I was like, okay, yes. Well, then I got a 2 bedroom because my other bedroom was my office and everything. Then we lived in a 4 bedroom house and everything, had a pool and all that. Okay, closer to what my dream home is looking like, right? Same thing with your website. So you're going to start out with the small, just a little bit of stuff. But then as time goes on, you're going to create more pages. You're going to add on a little bit more. You're going to make sure that it's relevant content as well that you're adding. And then as your brand develops, you have new products, new services that you add. You can add those on. Remember, we said WordPress is scalable, so it can grow with you. So just to give you an example, I worked I was hired to create a website for one of my clients that has a nonprofit organization. And I know at the beginning, there were some services. They said, these are the things that, well, okay. In my creative consultation, we talk and I get to know you and say, hey, okay, exactly what are you looking for? What's the vision for your brand? Tell me about your brand. So as we were doing that, the young lady was just saying, these are some things that we're going to do. We're going to offer this. We're going to offer that. We're not there yet. However, we are doing these couple of things right here. I said, okay, no problem. We can add those things later. So as time went on, we added another service and we added that onto the website. And then time went on, we added another service. And guess what? That is the beauty of just starting with a small website. You can always grow it. And it was no problem. Whatever the time is perfect whenever you're ready to add it, when you have the content for it. So as your brand develops, you can still grow. Now, here's a little note. You can have virtually unlimited pages for your WordPress website. And not just WordPress, for any website. But, and I say virtually because there are some things called server limits that kind of cap different things as far as the amount of space that you're using. However, you can do something like upgrade your hosting, or once you get to a really large, like Fortune 500 level, you're going to have your own server. Of course, you don't have to worry about that because you'll have an IT department or at least like a couple of people that are helping you with your IT needs at that point. So I have to say virtually because I don't want anybody to say, oh, it's not just unlimited. You can't have just unlimited stuff. But I did want you to know this information. So you can, like I said, you can upgrade your hosting if you get to that point. One of the only things that comes to mind that would make me say you would have to do something like that is if you have a lot of videos that you host from your website. Okay, so that's not just with the pages, that's with the entire amount of content that you are storing in your hosting, in your web hosting. Okay, so that's just a little tidbit that I like to add. Some people say, okay, I can only have 5 pages, or I only can have 10 pages. You can have unlimited pages as long as the content in them is not taking up a lot of space. Okay. And I do want to just say that if you're like up to like a medium size like business, you should be good with like a basic or just one level up as far as your hosting goes. And guess what? Your hosting provider will contact you if they say, hey, you're using too much space or whatever. You will get notifications of that. And if you need some help with that, just go ahead and hit me up, let me know, and I will help you out with that. So the next thing we want to talk about is posts. So the first thing we talked about was pages. So the next thing is posts. Posts are basically just a special type of page. That's all a post is. Posts are basically, they're content entry driven. Pages hold content, but posts are pages that are content entries. And when I do the demo, you'll get a better understanding of it. Posts are also time and date dependent, okay? And that's why you have different entries. Posts were the original basic content holder of WordPress, because WordPress was created for bloggers. And of course, geeky IT people, they said, hey, this is really awesome. We can use this to build websites, not just, it just doesn't have to be for blogs. So that's what posts are. Posts are also categorized. If you've ever been to anyone's blog, you can see that they have different categories in their blogs. You can use that, and a lot of times what I use it for is events. You can use it for oh my gosh, just different, whatever you can categorize. If you have a shop on your website, posts, you can have a special type of post that you can categorize so that when people shop, they can shop by category. It's actually very effective, whether you're using it for a blog or for some other thing like events, shopping, or what have you. So again, we're going to get a little bit more into that, and we're going to be talking about blogs in another lesson as well. So yeah, don't worry about that. Let me take a little sip of water before we move on. Okay, are y'all getting it? I hope y'all are. So just to tell you, I told you that posts are a special type of page, right? So just a little comparison so you understand when you should use a post versus using a page. So pages are timeless. They don't expire. They have static information. And you use it for things like landing pages and for basically anything that is going to be on your menu. When I say menu items, I'm not talking about like chicken Alfredo. No, I'm not talking about like stuff on the menu. We're talking about menus later, okay? But anything that when you go to the website and you see it up on that top menu, like your home page, your about page, contact, and whatever else you have there, that's what pages are meant for. Things that don't really change a lot. Of course, you can go and change the content, but it's stuff that really doesn't expire. Like, just think, if you go to my website and you look at my about page, guess what? That stuff is going to be accurate because I'm the design diva and I still do what I do. Of course, I may expand my services and have some more years under my belt. However, it's basically, it's just going to have like little adjustments. I can update my pictures and everything, so you can update the content that is on the pages, but it's not something that's going to be per se expire. Now, posts are date sensitive. These are better for when you have if you want to have discussions. Like for a post, there is actually built into there where you can allow people to put comments on the post. If you want to start up something like that, that's really good. For blogs, of course, I already talked about that. Something that is syndicated, that means that you want it to be reproduced on other sites. Posts are absolutely amazing for syndication. Also, if you want to put it on social media and you want it to be shared, posts are perfect for those types of things. And again, just going back to the date sensitivity, when I was telling you that I use posts for events a lot of times, that really works. It helps me keep them organized as well and categorized, because let's just say you have a business and you have a lot of different events and different types of events. Well, you can use posts for those events, and you can categorize them how you would like. And I do want to say that even if you use posts for events or your shopping cart or something, you can still have a blog. You don't have to choose one or the other. Okay? So just to let you know that as well, just in case you were wondering that. Now, we talked about pages. We talked about posts, which are your content holders. Well, where does the content come from? Where's the content held that goes onto these pages and posts? Well, it's held in the media library. You probably figured that since I'm already at that slide. Look at you being all smart and getting ahead of me. A media library for your WordPress website is just basically storage space. That's what you think of it as. It's going to hold all the images, photos, videos, files, anything that you can download, like PDFs or even Word documents, anything like that that is presented on your website. It is held in this storage space called the media library. Just to give you an idea, we've talked about your website being your home on the internet. In your home, do you have a junk drawer where you just have like maybe some screwdrivers and some tape, some paper clips and thumbtacks, some birthday candles? I don't know. You just have a whole bunch of stuff in there, right? But guess what? It's there when you need it. You already know, okay, if it's something that I need, okay, just check the junk drawer. You might even have like a storage space in your home, or like a closet, or just like a designated area that you keep things like extra toilet paper, rolls of toilet paper, right? Extra paper towel rolls, backup, whatever, toothpaste, whatever it is, right? This is the same, but it's there when you need it. It's the same thing with the media library. When you put it into the media library, you can make use of it. Listen, if you don't have any toilet paper in that designated area in your house and you run out, that puts you in a bind, right? You cannot make use of it. Same thing with media library. If you don't put it in the media library, you cannot put it on your page. You cannot put it into your post. You cannot present it on your website. Okay, so your media library is just that storage space that says, hey, put the stuff in here and it's ready when you need it. Before you can, like I said, before you put it onto your website, it has to be in the media library. Media library can be, items can be added to the media library from a page or a post. So when you're actually creating that page or post, you can add it, or you can add it directly to the media library for later use. You don't have to put it in right away as you're creating. And I'm going to demonstrate both of those when we do this demo right now. So you're going to watch me. We're going to create a couple of pages. I'm going to show you how to do a couple of pages, or a page or two, and then show you how to do posts. And I will also be demonstrating the media library while I'm creating. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my WordPress success. So you can see the back end. This is my dashboard. Remember, we've done this already. You all are a little bit familiar with this already. And of course, remember, it does not look exactly the same because you have a different theme, yada, yada. Covered that already. All right. So basically what we're going to do is right now, we're going to go back over here to the left-hand side. And you see here, it may be in the same order. Remember, this menu is maybe look a little bit different. But we're going to first go to pages. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the pages. And remember, when you click on something on the dashboard, it goes to that top item. Okay. So pages is just like clicking all pages here. And then you also have add new. So I'm going to show you right now. These are the pages that basically came with installed with the theme that I selected, which is the Pixel right? So I actually created this WordPress Success course before. Yeah, I think when I did the summer version of WordPress Success. But these are the pages. When you look at this, it's like, okay, and what? This means nothing to you, right? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you what it looks like in the front of the website, the way everybody can see, versus the back end of the website. So again, you've got a little bit of this already because your coming soon plugin already. I'm sorry, your coming soon page already. So I'm going to just visit the site so you can see what the front of it looks like. Give you a little reminder. It loads there. All right. Okay. So you can see everything there. I'm going to use the About page because I think I just want to. All right. So here's the About page. All right. This is what it looks like. Again, this is all placeholder information. Yours may look similar to this. It probably has some of these same pictures if you go to the About page. Now, again, this is a page that was already installed with the theme that I chose. Okay. So when I go back to the back end to the dashboard, you see the About Us page. And the way that I know it's the same, it says About Us here in the title. All right. On the back end, it says About Us in the list of pages. Now, if I want to go in and edit this page, there are a couple of different ways that I can do it. First of all, I can go here. If I click it, it goes into edit mode. Okay. Or if I'm doing a preview of the site here, remember you have to be logged into the dashboard. Like no one can get to this unless they have your login information. You can go here and say edit page right at the top here. Okay. So those are two different ways you can do it. So we're just going to click edit page. And what happens is it just takes you into the back end of that page. All right. So that's how you get into edit mode for the page. In the next lesson, we're going to be talking about web page builders, and we're going to go over the Beaver Builder. We're going to be talking about that. So I'm just going to go out of this right now. I'm going to show you how to create a new page. Okay. So you can do it here from the front end. You can say new and select page, or you can do it from your dashboard and say new page, or you can go here under pages on the left-hand menu and say add new. So that's 3 different ways that you can create a page. And just depending on how you're flowing, you can select whichever one is the best for you. So I just clicked on add new page, and I'm going to add a title. I'm going to show you now how to use the standard editor, because every theme does not have this Beaver Builder installed. So that's why I want to show you doing it this way, right? So I'm gonna call this one WordPress Success lesson. Okay, lesson 2, right? So I'm gonna switch to use standard editor. If you're already on standard editor, you don't have to click the standard editor, but you'll see what it looks like when I go over here. So the standard editor, right? You can add different parts and pieces to it. Okay. Now, by default, you have 3 here, which I'm going to hover over them so you can see what they say. Add image, add heading, and add columns. Those 3 that you can see there. And I think that may change based on when you add things. I don't really remember. But again, every theme is different. That's why I said, I don't know. Now, each one of these items is what's called a block. You can also click this plus sign here that says add block, or you can go up here to the top left and add block from here as well. I'm going to click this one so that you can see the different options that are available. It's not just picture, heading, and columns. Those are not the only 2 that are available. Now, the most used, they have them here, like a paragraph, image. You can have a block quote. You can add a photo gallery, a list. You have things with formatting, as far as a pull quote, a table. You can add so many different things just from the built-in functionality that is contained in the blocks for WordPress. Now, you're going to go in and play with this yourself and take a look at the different things that you can add, because I'm not going through each and every one of them. If you have any questions, you can ask. I don't want to use up too much of your time like that. You can even add your contact details, widgets, so much that you can do. Again, this is why I love WordPress, because you can do so much with it. So I'm just going to say WordPress Success Lesson 2, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add a block. My first thing I'm going to do is just add an image. I like to have an image at the top, right? So I can add an image. And remember I said you can add something, add content from when you're creating a post or a page. Here it is. You can say something from the media library. So if I click that, it's going to actually show me what is already contained in my media library. So these are pictures that are already in my media library for my WordPress website. You can also, if it's not there, because some of these I've added when I was playing around with this before, you can click upload files here. And just like any other file uploader that you may have used before, you can drop the files anywhere to upload them. So I can open like my Windows Explorer or my File Explorer in Mac, and just grab and just drag and click it and let it go here. Or you can just click select files and upload one. So I'm going to show you that way. So I'm going to select the files, and I'm going to go to Design Diva Studios to graphics. I'm just going to grab one here. So after you grab one like that, you go into your File Explorer, find the picture you want. And as long as it's a valid file type, you're going to see the uploading image there. And this is actually a pretty big image. So Remember that when you're uploading images, the file size does make a difference. That's another class, but I did want to bring that up to you. It takes a little bit longer to upload. And also when people are viewing your website, it takes a little bit longer for these images to load, okay? There is gonna be like a little delay. So once it's actually uploaded, you're going to see a little check mark there. That means it's selected. However, what you really want to see over here is that it has changed from uploading. You'll see a preview of the picture and just some little information about the picture, okay? And again, like I told you, this is a huge picture. And how can I tell? 14 megabytes is a big picture, and 6,000 by 4,000 pixels is huge. And just to show you in contrast, if I click this one, you see it's 390 kilobytes, and it's 15 by 1506 pixels. So just a little design tip for you there, all up in the middle of WordPress success. Yes, I can't help it. I love what I do. So what I'm going to do is you can select that image, and you can upload multiple at a time. So if I go back to upload files and select, I can choose many if I want to. Okay, and then when I open it, it's going to upload all 4 of them, and I can select the one that I would like to use from there. So I'm going to click cancel because I don't want to upload those. They're kind of big. Okay, so again, I'm going to select this image right here. Okay, and once you have it uploaded, you just click select. So now you kind of see a little preview of what it's going to look like. Okay, and I normally don't add captions. You can, depending on what you are doing with the image. So after that, I'm going to actually go ahead and add some text. Let me pop over and grab a little something from somewhere. Let's see. This is funny. Thought I had something. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to grab this from the course agenda, something from the course agenda. Okay, so come back over. All right, so I'm going to now click this plus sign. You can add a block from here at the top, or you can add it from, if you hover down below whatever you just added, you'll see another plus sign there. So I'm going to add some text here. So I'm going to go plus, I'm going to add a paragraph. And I just pasted it from my clipboard, right? And this is just a little something I already had on clipboard. You can type it in if you want to as well. So if I drop down, I can say, typing in information. All right, you don't have to copy and paste. However, as you see, copy and paste is much easier. So if you did your plan for your brand activity, you can copy and paste directly into your pages. All right, so I just want to show you that there's a little bit of difference here. Now this defaulted to a heading called heading 4. And I'm going to show you what the difference between these are. And these are just a little tidbits so that you get an understanding of what you're doing. So H4 means heading 4. Heading 1, header 1 is the biggest header. That font is going to be bigger. As you go down to header 6, I believe is the smallest, H6, you are going to get a smaller font. Not only that, you can still customize you can go into further customization, but I'm just going to show you by default how things will work. And I went to header 4, I think, because I have it as header 4 from where I copied it on the web page. Okay. So I want to show you that if you don't want it to default to where you copied it from, you can also do something like this. Let me drop down to a new block. And when you hit enter, it drops down to a new block automatically, just FYI for the text blocks. So what I can do is, instead of just pasting it, I can do paragraph. And if I right click and say paste as plain text, it's going to just keep it as a paragraph. It's not going to put it as a header 4 or a heading. So when I click it, it's now a paragraph. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back over here to the header so you can see what the difference is. Right now it's header 4. If I make it header 2, look at how huge that comes out. Header 3, a little bit smaller. Header 4, even smaller. And again, if you look over here on the right hand side, you're going to see some options that go along with whatever block along with whatever block you have selected. So since I have this text block selected and it's H4, you can see the level of header that I can make it. See how header 6 is smaller? So you can change it from here, or you can change it from here. If you want to make something bold or italics, just like Microsoft Word, you can change it from here as well. So if I want to say highlight your freebies and make that bold, you can see that it kind of changed a little bit. Some things you cannot see as well in the preview here, but it does give you a pretty good idea of how things are laid out. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do now is just let you know, anytime you create a page or a post, you want to look at what it looks like on your website before you publish it. That's just how I feel about it. You don't have to if you don't want to, but yeah, it's my suggestion. I strongly suggest that. So just to show you that up here on the top right, you have these options. Save draft. That means you can save it right where you are, come back to it and finish it later. No problem. It's not published. No one sees it except for you or whoever has access to your WordPress dashboard because they have your username and password. Here's preview. You can take a preview, look at it without even saving a draft, and you can look at it without publishing it, right? Okay. And I don't know if you just saw it flashed and it said saved. WordPress automatically will save it at different intervals, just like Microsoft Word. If you have that feature, unless you have the feature turned off, Word will start saving yourself every once in a while, and which is a good thing. It's a very good thing. So I'm going to go up here and click preview, and preview normally opens in a new window. So what's going to happen is it's going to load what I have done. So here it is. I have my image that I uploaded, and here it is. This is my H4 header. This is what it looks like. This is what the world will see once it's published. And then here is what it looks like as a paragraph. Okay, so that preview, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cute. That works. Or I can say, you know what? I don't like this image at the top, because I have the header as an image. I want to put some text first. All I have to do is close this tab. So it takes me back to my edit mode for this page. And all I can do is right here, I can grab right to the left of this text and I can drag it up, right? And as you can see, okay, I didn't go all the way up. Hold up. I have to get on top of the image. Okay, and you kind of see where it's going to drop there. Okay, and it's embarrassing me right now. It's so funny. Okay, so you can do it that way. Let me, you know what? I'll drag the image down below the text. How about that? Since y'all want to act funny. There we go. Go, go, go. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to drop it right here. It kind of shows you where it's going to drop. And as you can see, now the text is on top of the picture. And I put it in between those two text boxes. So that's where it went. Again, another thing that I can do is I can say, hey, I didn't want this one to be on top of the picture as well. You can hit this arrow to make it move down. And as you can see, that could be a little bit easier depending on how big your screen is. So now what I can do is I can preview it again. Again, this is not published to the world. This is just a preview because it's not published. Now, as you can see, after my page header that I have that is universal goes across my website, you can see that the first block of text, that header 4, is there, then the image, and then the rest of the text is there. Okay, so you can go in when you're creating your pages, you can add whatever you need to here. Again, you can look into the blocks and whatever you need, you can actually put it there, right? So let me just show you what a block quote looks like, right? Y'all know I'm the design diva. My purpose is to make you pop on paper and shine online, right? Okay. So that's what I'm gonna add. This is when a block quote is used for when you want something to stand out, okay? And you can tell what it is by here, right? And you can actually change the block style by clicking here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and preview it now that I've added that block quote. And again, I'm not going to show you each and every item. I just want to show you a few. And here it is. This now stands out. Okay. Again, I can go back over there and make this bold if I need to. I can click on styles and see how it says default or large. Again, this is based on, this is the theme I chose and the theme options that I have. Everything does not have the same exact options. However, as you can see, it's easy to go in and just play around with the different pieces that are included in your theme. Okay. So that's basically how you create a page. Now, once I say, okay, I previewed it and I really like it. I love, love, love the way it is. Of course, I would never leave a page like this, no. But just for the sake of time, we're going to move right along. Again, you can save it as draft if you're not done with it, or you can publish it. So when you click publish, by default, WordPress now will ask you, hey, just want to make sure that you said you're ready to publish this, right? You know, because once you publish it, it's going to be visible to the public, right? And then you have an option that says, when do you want to publish it? By default, it's immediately. By default, the visibility is public. We're going to talk about private pages in another lesson, how to keep things from certain people. We are going to get into that a little bit. Yes, I told you WordPress success. I told you I'm not going to run out of stuff to teach you. Don't worry about it. We still got a lot to cover in other lessons. Now, if you don't want them to ask you every time, hey, are you sure you want to publish it? You can uncheck this. I leave it on because I want to, sometimes you're working, sometimes you get distracted and whatever. The thing about it is you might say, okay, well, it's not on my menu yet, or, you know, I'm not telling anybody about it. If people search and it just so happens that they find what matches this page, they can actually access it. They can have access to it. So that's why you want to make sure that it's the way you want it and what you want the world to see before you publish it. Okay, so I'm sure that I want to publish it, so I'm just going to go ahead and click publish. So again, WordPress is very courteous. It tells you when things have been published and saved and whatnot. So you see in the screen, it says page published, and then it gives you the option to take a view at the page. Now, I do want to also point out before we take a look at the page on the front end, the page address is here. So if you ever need to go to your page URL, the direct URL of one page, this is where you get it from. Okay, well, you can get it from here. This is one. And it basically is just going to be your website address. So mine is this. All right. Then plus whatever your permalink was. Okay. And you can copy the link directly from here. So we're going to go ahead and view the page. And of course, when I view it, it looks just like the last preview that I took a look at. And this is why you want to preview your page before you publish it. Okay. So fairly easy, right? Fairly simple. And I just want to also point out that you can get your page, direct page URL from the top of here. See how I'm highlighting this, just the URL over there? You can just copy it and paste it to wherever you need to. Okay. So we've talked about pages now. We're going to go back to our dashboard. And we're going to talk about posts. Remember, posts are basically the same thing as pages. They just have a special purpose. That's all posts are. So we're going to go over here and I'll show you. This is one that I created before. So you can see. And I'm just going to click view right here so you can take a look at it. Again, and with my theme, my header is always the same, okay? But here is welcome to lesson 1 of WordPress, right? So this is the basic default layout for my post, and this is what a post looks like. It looks like a page, but remember I told you that it's categorized and date dependent, right? So if you look here, you'll see certain things like admin. That's who posted it. You'll see things like your date. That's the date I think that I published as well. And then you can see things like comments. Remember I said if you want to do a discussion, that's a good place to put use posts instead of pages. Now you can also see it says you are here, home, uncategorized WordPress course lesson 1. This is called breadcrumbs. We're going to talk about the customize feature in a little bit, and breadcrumbs are normally incorporated in there, so I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But the uncategorized is your default thing, or your default category, which is uncategorized. It's kind of like almost funny because it's uncategorized is a category as far as WordPress is concerned. You can create more categories. We will talk about that later when we talk about blogs and blog posts. Okay, so I will get more into detail about that when we get there. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is just show you that you edit a post more or less like you edit a page. So again, you can edit your post from here if you're taking a look at one that's already created, or you can do it from the back end. You can click edit there, right? But again, what I'm going to show you is how to create a new post. Actually, before I get into the new post, I forgot. I need to show you how to add items to the media library before you create a post or a page. So your media library is going to be over here on your left as well, on your left menu. Okay, so your media library, you can take a look at it right there. And you can see all of the items that you have in the media library. Remember when we went to the media library from adding the picture to the page, you kind of saw this same thing. And it was a pop-up, but it's the same thing. So what I do right here is I can actually add media from here. So again, several ways that you can add stuff to the media library. On the left-hand side, you can click add new, or you can click new up here and say media. So, or you can do the button that was up there. So right now, I can do one of two things. I can drag and drop my files here, or I can select the files. Now I'm gonna open my Explorer and drag a file over to it. You won't see that part on the screen, but you know how to open your Explorer and drag and drop something over. Excuse me. So I'm gonna go to this one. So funny. Okay, so I just dragged and dropped, and you'll see down at the bottom, you'll see whatever images you dragged and dropped, right? So it's there. Now, once it gets, and you see a preview for a short time, and then you'll see the little you'll see where it says loading. Well, once it's done, you'll see this little preview of it. And if you click edit, it'll open in a new window, all that good stuff. However, it is now in my media library. And when I click media library here, you'll see that I have this new image. Okay. And when I click it, it shows you that this is what it is. Okay, so that's how you can add media to the media library beforehand. So if you have a bunch of pictures, you can go ahead and dump them all in here at one time. Okay, so you don't have to upload it every time you're creating a post or a page. All right, so now we're going to go back to our post section and we're going to use that image we just uploaded in this new post that we're going to create. Okay, so I'm going to click add new. And we're going to say WordPress success. If I can spell, lesson 2. Okay, so once we do that, we're going to use the standard editor again. I'm going to just go ahead and grab some text here. Give me a moment. And I'll grab, yeah. I know I have some text somewhere now. Hold on. Yeah, here's something. Okay, so just copying some text to paste into here. Actually, I'm going to show you a little bit something different. I'm going to actually add some columns. Okay, so when I add columns, there's two. The first one is here where you see the blinking cursor, and the other one is over here on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a picture here. Okay. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab the media library and add that one, that picture we uploaded. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to paste the text into it that I copied, right? Okay. And again, you see it has different header styles based on where I copied it from, but that can always change. Okay. You can always go ahead and change that. Okay, so this is what the columns would look like, and that's how you add media that was in the media library already. So we're going to take a preview. Just like a page, you can preview a post. Take a look at a preview there before we publish it. And here we are again. You see everything looks amazing, all right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back over here and pop, and I want to show you another part that you would like to, that you can adjust based on when you're creating your pages and your posts. So if I click up here and where it says document, this option is there for pages and posts. You're going to see different things like your visibility when you publish it is immediately, pending review and anything like that. Here's your permalink. This is how you can change that page URL. Okay. So right now my link is, I'll show you it right now. My link is this right here. All right. This whole thing. I'm going to highlight it so you can see where it says WP-success-lesson-2, right? If I just want to say WPS lesson 2, it changes that permalink. Okay. So that is going to be the new URL of this page once I change that. Okay. Again, remember I told you that in post you have things like that are called categories. Here you can add categories into your for your post to be put into. So I'm going to uncheck uncategorized. I don't like using it, and I'm just going to pick WordPress. And we'll talk about tags and whatnot a little bit later, as well when we get to talking about blogs, right? And I'm making a note of it, so I don't forget to tell you about it. All right, the part that I want to show you that is available on pages and posts is the featured image. So the featured image is what is going to represent the page as far as like a kind of like a placeholder goes. And let me show you what I mean. I'm going to click preview again so you can take a look at this blog post. And again, based on the theme that you choose, your featured image may be used in different ways. So right here, you see this big, it's just a big blank nothing, right? It's just like a placeholder. It's like, that's not cute. So I'm going to go back over here to the back end, and if I click set featured image, I can select something from here. Okay, I'll just select this one. No, that's not, I don't want to select that one. That's the same. And when you do your featured image, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to click preview again. And you will see that now it's not a big block of nothing. It's actually the image that I set as my, as that image, right? The one that we just selected. Okay. So again, it's a placeholder type of thing for just for the feature for that particular post. Okay. So what I'm going to do is now is I'm going to go ahead and publish it. Yes, I'm going to publish it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and view it. And of course, the view is going to look exactly like our preview was. Okay. And I'm going to show you where that featured image will show up as well. So remember, I put it in the category called WordPress instead of uncategorized. So when I click the WordPress category, I will see that featured image as well listed there. Okay. And then I can read more and open more. Again, we're going to get more into posts when we talk about blogs, but I just wanted to let you know that that is something that is available. So we've talked about the media library. We've talked about as far as when we were doing posts and pages, right? And we're going to flip back over to the rest of our lesson. We talked about all those things, and now hopefully you have a good understanding of what the pages and posts look like in the back end of your WordPress, as well as how you can use your back end of WordPress to actually create what you want people to see. Okay. And how you get all that content in there. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and continue on with the lesson. If you want to take a break, this is a good point to do that. I'm going to just go ahead and take a swig of water. No, I'm not taking a break, but again, you can if you want to, you know. All right. So remember we talked about how WordPress works. You've seen this lots of times by now, right? We talked about the application, the themes, the layout and colors, and we talked about the content. And I know you're like, okay, so what else are we going to talk about? That's the whole thing. Again, we still have a lot. We just touched the surface. So don't worry about it. We're not running out of stuff to teach you. We're going to also talk about now a feature called Customize. This is built into WordPress. When you take a look at the Customize feature, it gives you basically more options where you can make your WordPress website your own. Help it to represent your brand the way you want it represented. Now, Customize is going to be the options that are there are going to be based on the theme that you selected, right? And that you installed, that you have activated. So, people don't use this a lot anymore. I'm just showing my age, but this acronym called WYSIWYG, it means what you see is what you get. Some people might call that real time. You can see things in real time, like you can really see it right now. But basically, you can see a live preview. It's not live as far as it's published to the world, but you can see what it looks like as you are making your edits. You get that preview as you're changing things. That's basically what Customize offers you. Again, based on the theme that you have, you can actually create your website using the features in Customize. If you want me to suggest some things like that, I can, and they do actually have some free ones where you can just do so many amazing things, like advanced things. We covered the basic things in when I was showing you pages and posts. However, there are some more advanced features that you can add as well as you're creating your website. So that's basically what Customize is. You're going to actually have, as part of your assignment, you're going to have to go in and do some adjustments to your site using the Customize feature that is included in your theme. If you have any questions about it, definitely email me. Remember, there are like hundreds of thousands of themes now. So I of course, I don't know every answer to every, I can't just like give it to you off the top of my head, but I will be able to guide you. I can take a look at it and, figure out an answer for you, help you figure it out from there. So you're going to get to use this. Now, before I make you go and use it yourself, we're going to go ahead and show you how the Customize feature is actually used. So I'm going to go ahead and pop back over to the dashboard. Okay. Now, when you log into your dashboard, okay, we're going to do this from the back end. Let me close this other tab. You're going to see there are several options that we have not even tapped on yet. The one way that you can get to the Customize feature of your WordPress website is by hovering over Appearance, and you'll see Customize as an option there in this list. And I was going to say the second option, but yeah, again, different themes, you see different things. But if you hover over Appearance, you'll see Customize there. Okay. And also, if you're logged in and you're at your site here and you're just taking a look at it, you can click Customize up here on the top bar. Either way, it's going to take you to the same place where it's going to go to the back end of your website. Now, remember before when we created the pages and the posts in the default editor for WordPress, you kind of just had to say, okay, this is how stuff is laid out, and you had to do a preview of it in order to see what it exactly looks like. Okay, so right now I'm just going to scroll down and show you on the left hand side, instead of having the table of contents there, now you have some options over here. This is what the customizer is going to look like. You have some options over here, and then in the main panel you have the content area. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and scroll down so you can see that in customize you have different options. This is my first time going into customize for this theme, so when you go through yours, you're going to see that there are some different options as well. Now, there are some that are universal that go with basically everything, but those are those are the most that those are the ones that are a little bit more important, and that basically anything is going to incorporate. So I'm going to go ahead and click theme options here. And general is normally there, site identity, homepage settings. These are pretty much included with everything, but I'm going to show you with how you can use this to actually customize, right? So first of all, we have the general tab. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Remember, we did our site title when we set up our WordPress site. This is another place that you can actually go ahead and go in and change your site title if you would like to. Okay. So instead of WordPress Success with Erica the Design Diva, I'm going to change it to WordPress Success by Erica the Design Diva. Now, I'm going to show you. I know you just saw that change and you're like, oh, wow, okay, cool. No problem. I went and changed it. And remember I said it's a live preview. This is not published to the world yet. It's just showing me that this is what it's going to look like when it's done, right? Now, also in this one, I have where the copyright information is here. So if I scroll down, I'm going to see copyright 2019 Design Diva Studios, all rights reserved. You see that? So let's just say I just want to change it to Design Diva Studios and with Erica. It refreshes, and you can see that with Erica it has been added there. Awesome, right? Very, very cool way to make updates to your site. And please put copyright information on your website, okay? Oh my gosh, don't get too much into it, but it does offer a level of protection, even if you have not gone through and did your trademarking and things like that. This still gives you a level of protection by adding this to your website. Make sure it's your own content. Make sure you didn't steal it, okay? So now again, this is changed, but it kind of has it saved in like a temporary file. It's not published yet. So when people come to visit my website, they don't see this Design Diva Studios with Erica right there, and they don't see the by Erica because I have not published it yet. Site identity is another one that is kind of universal, where you have your logo, your tagline, and there may be some other options based on the thing you selected. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. If I select logo, again, here we go to the media library. This is something that you could have put in ahead of time if you would have liked to. And I'm just going to click my Erica the Design Diva little logo that I have there. A lot of them will say crop the image just based on what their defaults are, but you can skip the cropping if you need to on this. So I'm going to skip the cropping because I don't want it to cut off any of my name. Why would I want that? So as you see, it changed to my logo here because why? I have this checked right here that says display site title and tagline. So if I uncheck that, okay, so I guess for this theme, if you add a logo, it just takes that part away. And what I'm going to do is just show you that right now it's kind of pushed over. If you click right down here on the bottom left where it says hide controls, it's going to hide those options so you can get a better view of what it looks like full screen. And then if you go back over and do that little circle with the arrow in it, you're going to click it again, and it's going to show the controls again. Okay, and if that logo, you don't like it, you can change it. You might say it's too big. You need to go outside of WordPress and change it. You can change it within your media library as well, but make sure it's going to affect anywhere that you have that particular image. Okay. So site icon is what shows up when you have in that little space right before your URL. Let me show you what I mean. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna show you. When you click on Apple's official site, you see that little icon there? It's their Apple icon, right? So that's what a site icon is. You want this to be basically a perfect square, okay? And it doesn't have to be big because it just kind of shows up there, okay? So that's what the site icon is. So right now I don't have one selected, but if I go and select site icon, and again, it needs to be something square, and it needs to be, you know, it kind of makes you try to do a square there. So I'm gonna make this I'm gonna bring this in. And you don't want a lot of white space around it because it's very tiny. So I'm gonna bring it in. And as you can see, you see a little preview there. And then I'm gonna crop the image. And now you can see up here at the very, very top there, you see that little image that I added for my site icon is there. So definitely just another way to make your website your own. See how cute that is? So did I finish that? Yes, okay. So now I'm gonna go into the homepage settings. Homepage, this is another place where you can change these settings. Remember, we changed this from the dashboard in the settings section before. If you want to go in and make some changes here, you can do that as well. But normally you would just do it from the dashboard. Either way, it doesn't matter. Remember, we talked about breadcrumbs. We're going to talk about those more when we do when we talk about the blogs, right? But breadcrumbs, this is how you change the settings of those as well. Text before the breadcrumbs menu, you are here, right? So we saw that when we did the post. Okay, and then you can have a separator. This may be different for your theme. You can even turn the category off if you would like to here. And then here are your blog settings. Again, we'll go into that when we talk about blogs. Okay. So this is basically just the back end of what your customize is going to look like. And I'm going to show you some of the other options that are included with the theme that I chose, the Pixel of Light. I'm going to show you that. But again, remember that your theme may have different options. Just go in and take a look at all of them. You never know how much you can do from there. So I'm going to just scroll down a little bit so you can see that the homepage sections that I have here. Okay. And I'm going to go to, I'll show you front page sections. Several themes, I'll have this as well right now. So you can actually just make your homepage look exactly like you want from here. A lot of times when you look at a preview of a theme, these are what they have in there if they have front page options. So if I want to include the CTA section, you already know what that is, that big image. Of course, we want to include that, right? Your call to action section, we talked about this a little bit before. Your header media is there. Okay, so we have that already. You can put a short little video if you want to. If it's a video, make sure it's like maybe like 5 to 10 seconds long. You don't want like an entire video. And because it's going to keep looping, excuse me, it's going to keep looping around. And remember, I told you if you put a long video, it's going to be huge and it's going to load very, very slow if you have an entire video there. So you can go in and make these changes. We talked about this already a little bit in lesson 1. So I can go in and change this. And as you can see, it changes in real time. So it says this is WordPress success, you know, and I'm going to change to by Erica Design Diva. Okay. All right, so that's a little call to action for that header. You can go in and change whatever else you want to do. If you want to show what we do section, you're going to go in here and enable it, or I would go in and enable it. And then what we do, number 1 is web design. Development. Oh, okay. And then I forgot what I did in the print design, right? So those 3 things are there. And with a lot of customized themes now, you can actually just, if you see it here, you can just click directly right here and edit the element. See how I just clicked on it and it took me exactly where I needed to be. So you may not be like, okay, where is this? You can just click on it now. A lot of times if it has that little edit icon there, it's just a circle with a pencil in it, right? So you can make the changes from exactly where you are. Okay, so I chose a little icon there. I'll put development. Turn caps lock off. Okay, you can put in whatever you want to put there. All right, and as you can see, it filled in there. Again, you get that live preview of what things are going to look like before you actually publish it. Okay, so when I go in and add those other things, they will show up as well. Okay, so once you get to this point, you can go back and you see the little arrows just kind of take you through the different parts. I'm going to show you that if you add another section into here, how you will see it. So I'm going to add a testimonial section. So when I click it, the text says, look, the title is here. Okay, and you can say some work from our clients, whatever you want to say. So I'm going to say WordPress success fans. Okay, and as you can see, it starts to fill it in right away. Okay. Feedback from WordPress success. Okay. And as you see, when I type it in there, again, boom, it shows up. Yes, just like that. Boom. How easy is this? Like, it's too easy. So at testimonial number 1, and I guess like even though they have this whole placeholder stuff, they don't like to use it. It's not showing up on the page. So let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna go in there. Okay. All right, why are you not publishing? Oh, let me change the little image. Okay. All right, so now that you've seen, I've gone in and I made the changes, you see that testimonial shows up there. Isn't that awesome? So I'm gonna add another one just so we can have a little bit more. Okay, and of course, I use old people words, just, forgive me. So I'm just choosing some of the default stuff that's here, okay? Okay, and I'm gonna hide the control so we can take a look at what it looks like here. And if you can see here, if you scroll through, you're gonna see the testimonials that I added. How awesome. Okay, I'm gonna just show you one more section and then finish up our lesson for today, just so you can see that that this customize feature is actually pretty amazing. You can change also your color schemes here. So my default color scheme, if you see, everything is like kind of this goldenrod kind of color, black and gray. I can go in and make this change. Your theme probably has something that is similar. Yeah, if it doesn't, you can still go into customize. We're going to talk in a few lessons. We're going to be talking about CSS, which is cascading style sheets, that will show you how you don't just have to stick to the customized features that they have built into WordPress or into your theme. So they have some predefined color palettes and color schemes here. So if I just choose this one, it should, okay, there it is. It updated to show that now, even that golden color is now like this kind of peachy looking kind of color. I don't know what it is. So you can do that, or I can go in and say, you know what, I don't like that color. I want to make it my own like pink, hot pink color. Y'all know that's my color, that hot pink, yes. So as you can see, it actually changed it immediately to the color that I selected. Okay, so you go in again and you just kind of play around with it. Here's the footer background, right? So the footer background, I want to make it red. Boom, footer background is now red, stands out. It's, yeah, it's crazy. If you, and right in my options here, I can click clear and it goes back to the default. Okay. All right. So that's just a little bit more. You can change your menu from here. We'll talk about those later, and widgets. We'll be talking about that stuff later. But you have the option here to go in. If I say, you know what, I got to go somewhere right now, so I can't finish this, but I don't want to lose the changes that I've made. This happened maybe, oh my God, this did not exist in the original WordPress. It was years later when this feature was there, that was added. You could always publish it, or you could just lose your changes, all right? Now, if you click this little gear icon here, it gives you the option to save a draft, or you can schedule when you want it to go live. So let's just say that you want to add an event. You want it to publish at a certain time. You want it to publish at 5 a.m. on Wednesday. Guess what? You can schedule it for 5 a.m. at Wednesday. You don't have to be up at 5 a.m. and come in here and schedule it. You can be getting ready for your day, doing your meditation or your yoga or whatever you do. I don't know what you do in the morning. You might not get up till 9 a.m. But guess what? You can schedule it to post or be live on that particular date. So this is an awesome, awesome feature that you can use. So right here, I can actually save the draft, or I can make it, publish it, and make it live. So I'm just going to save the draft. And it's gonna stay, it just goes over here. It doesn't actually save it until you click the button. It just tells you, okay, this is the action that I wanna take when I'm leaving this page. Okay, so I'm just gonna click publish. Now this is going to be live. Once that publish button goes back kind of grayed out or disabled, that is what the world now sees. So I did all that in customize feature. When you click the X, you go back to the dashboard or to the front page, depending on where you clicked customize from. It takes you back to the page you were before. And that's awesome. And I just want to point out that on this front page, you see that the featured image I chose for the post we created today, you see that featured image is there. Pretty awesome, right? It all ties in, it all comes together pretty well once you start working with it a lot more. So make sure that you get in and play around with your customized feature for your WordPress website, okay? Please, please, please do that. You're gonna have lots of fun with it, okay? Again, if you get stuck, just hit me up and I'll help you. So we're gonna go ahead and finish out our lesson for today. Before we leave, I just wanted to go over one-page websites. I talked about if you don't have a lot of content at the beginning, which you may not have at this point, you can start out with a one-page website. Guess what? You can do that now. If you put the content in, you can publish this. And after this lesson, lesson number 2, you can have a live website if you want to get it up in a hurry. Now, what you can do is you post this, you publish this one-page website. All you got to do is turn off that coming soon plugin. You disable it once you get everything like the way you like it. Then you can continue to build your website in the background. You can build the rest of your pages in the background. Nobody has to see them. Don't publish them yet. It's just awesome. See, WordPress is amazing, isn't it? So a one-page website, just like the name says, all the content is on one page. For a true one-page site, everything is on one page. However, there are times when people have a couple of other pages, maybe something like an about page or a contact page. Those are the two most common. Nothing that is too much more robust than the basics. And a lot of times, if you have limited content, the about can just go right into that home page. You don't have to add it there. Another feature that I see people using if they have a one-page site, they may have something like a book me page or a schedule page, a link to their schedule. So they can add that. You can add that thing, something like that as well. If you need to get on the web quick, you need to get that presence up quick, a one-page website is an option. All right. As you can see, I have a little preview of it here. This kind of looks like it, and I think I can zoom in. Yep. Gonna just zoom in so you can see it. Now, of course, a person, when they go to your webpage, they don't see all this at one time. They just kind of have to scroll down, right? But they'll see that preview, okay? So see how they have everything there? And a lot of times, a one-page site will have menu items up there, but when you click that menu item, like if you click the menu item that says work, instead of it going to another page, it just goes down to the work section. Okay. So one-page website, definitely something that is professional, that you can get your site out there quick. You can get it up and published really, really quick. Again, with the one-page site, there are some tips that I want to share with you. You can actually find a one-page theme. You can use this theme and then convert to another theme when you go live. Or you can, if you already selected the theme, so you can just have that one page, your home page, public. That's the only one you have published. Okay. And in that way, you can use a one-page site as a stage, kind of more or less. You have the staging site behind the scenes. Basically, what that means is one page everybody can see. Staging site, all the rest of the pages you're creating, people don't see them yet. So that's basically what I just explained. You're building your website in the background. Make sure that when you put photos here and images here, make sure they're high resolution. There's limited content. You want to make sure the content is fire. Okay, don't come half-stepping. If you have fuzzy pictures because it's old pictures you took with your flip phone, don't include those. Okay, just take some new pictures. Just being honest. That's actually for any website, even if it's not a one page, but definitely for a one page, since things are limited. Please, please, please use some high resolution stuff. And you can look in the course resources if you need some stock images that are royalty free. That means you can use them and people will not come and say, hey, you're using my property, I'm about to sue you. Also, on your one-page site, you want to include at least one call to action. Listen, you already know how I feel about your call to action. Call to action needs to be on everything. If you post on Facebook, put a call to action on that post every single time. Like seriously, especially if you are featuring your products and services or whatever you do, put a call to action in everywhere. Okay, ask people to do something. If you don't ask, you never know what they'll do if you don't ask. Put it out there. Put it right in their face. Keep it in their face. Last point that I want to tell you that is one-page website is not really meant to be a permanent website. Yeah, this is kind of like a progression. Just like, remember we said you start with a studio, then you move up to a 1-bedroom apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment, 5-bedroom house with pool and, canopy, outback, all that good stuff. One-page website is just like that studio apartment. You have that space, you have that content, but it's professional and it works for you. However, please upgrade. Please be working on your website. Don't leave this one-page website. Don't keep this for 3 years. Okay, I know, if I'm sorry, that's just how I feel about it. Your brand should have grown some in 3 years so that you have a full website. Go ahead, use the scalability of WordPress, use the amazingness, and do whatever you need to do in the background. If it takes you 3 months to build all the rest of your pages, do that. Publish your one-page website and then create your pages. Do one page a week if you need to, however you need to do it. Of course, I know things take time. I know life, gets to you and everything. But do not, if you do a one-page website, do not leave it up forever. If you have your coming soon page up, that's meant to just be like, for real, coming soon. All right. Make sure it's soon and not later. Okay, that's me. That's the design diva, giving some real hard love. Guess what? You made it through lesson 2. Just remember that your course agenda is where everything is. You're going to find your resources and information that you need, yada, yada, all that. The course page has your lessons and assignments on there. So your assignment number 2 will be there on your course page. The lesson 2 assignment, of course, is a PDF download, just like lesson 1 was. All of the lessons will be PDFs, just FYI. And also, I'm actually going to post a bonus lesson as well called Intro to Canva, where you can learn how to create your own graphics. And it's going to be, you're going to take a look under the course resources section of the course agenda. And it's just going to be a basic intro where I just really show you this tool called Canva. Some of you may already use it and be very proficient in utilizing it. But this is a way that you can create graphics for your website. Not only create graphics for your website, but when you have events and you want to advertise different things, you can use Canva for your, basically like your everyday type of graphics. Social media posts, definitely a good look to use Canva. That way, you don't have to hire someone like me and pay me like a bunch of money to create this for you. You can just do it yourself on your own time. You have an idea, boom, do it yourself. But then when you have big events, of course, that's when you call me and I'll design something like over the top for you. Okay.